the NBA on NBC. The 1995 NBA Finals. Tonight, Game 3 between the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets.
An atmosphere of anticipation as the scene has shifted to Houston, Texas. A capacity crowd better than 16,000 turning out at the Summit in Houston, where they love their Rockets. And the Rockets are ready.
Yo, this is the position right here, yo. It's the game. It's the game right here. It's the one. Turns it around. Turn the whole thing around. Aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Turns it right around. Then it starts. Intensity.
Take on the challenge. Let's give them a challenge too.
1, 2, 3, Rockets.
And we welcome you to Game 3 of this best-of-7 NBA Final Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Matt Gukas and Bill Walton. And for the Orlando Magic, it is certainly all on the line tonight. Only 2 teams in the history of the NBA playoffs have come back from 0-2 to win a best-of-7 after losing the first 2 at home. It's never been done in the finals. In the '69 Western Division semifinals, the Lakers did it. In last year's Western Conference semifinals, the Rockets came from 2 down to beat Phoenix. So Orlando facing a very difficult task. Bill, what is Orlando missing? What do they have to do to get back into it?
Marv, in Penny Hardaway, the Orlando Magic, they have a first-team All-NBA guard. They have a first-team All-Star who has put up very nice numbers in this series. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing statistically wise, but he's had absolutely no impact on the game, no control, no dictating the style, no leadership out there. Now, the player that Penny Hardaway is most compared to in NBA history is Magic Johnson, who always found a way to get everybody involved and come up with that winning strategy. And for Orlando to turn around their misfortunes, Penny Hardaway, he has to find a way to get everybody involved and get them off, get them playing their game, the ultimate skill of a superstar.
All right, now to the subject of the Rockets, and Matt, they have it going all their way. Hakeem has excelled, Clyde has excelled, and they're getting production from all possible sources.
Well, Hakeem, Olajuwon, and Clyde Drexler have more than lived up to everyone's expectations, better than advertised. And look at this, 6 more points a game than the regular season, and they're putting their signature all over this series. But the Rockets wouldn't be up 2-zip without Robert Horry's all-around defense. Here's one of his 7 steals in Game 2, and the opening court move has Horace Grant reeling. And seemingly out of the play, he swats Grant Dunk out of there, and he is confident to fire the three-pointer at any time. And Marv, Robert Horry has taken his game to another level.
All right, so coming up, it's Game 3 of this best-of-7 NBA Final Series. We'll be back with the introduction of the starting lineups in a moment.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. By Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
Welcome back to the Summit in Houston. A very odd breakdown as you look at the Houston Rockets in postseason play. Here at home, a record of 4-4, and on the road, really an incredible 9-up and 3-down mark. The Houston Rockets, in coming up with the victory in game number 2 in Orlando, made it 7 straight on the road to set an NBA playoff record. They broke the record that was held by the Chicago Bulls back in 1991. The Bulls did it in their title run. And the Rockets, with just mastery on the road during the course of this playoff run. We're set for the introduction of the starting lineups. Let's go to the public address announcer, Matt Thomas.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Summit for Game 3 of the NBA NBA Finals. Now, let's meet tonight's starters. First, for the Eastern Conference champion, Orlando Magic. At guard, 6'6" from Illinois, number 25, Nick Anderson. The other guard, 6'7" from Memphis, number 1, Anfernee Hardaway. At one forward, 6'10" from Clemson, number 54, Horace Grant. The other forward, 6'8" from Georgia Tech, number 3, Dennis Scott. And at center, 7'1" from Louisiana State, number 32, Shaquille O'Neal. Head coach of the Magic is Brian Hill, assisted by Richie Adubato, Tree Rollins, and Tom Sterner. And the trainer is Lenny Courier.
Well, the Rockets showing a sense of humor in playing the music from Disney World and Disneyland. It's a small world heard echoing over the public address.
That's my second favorite song.
Of course. What a surprise.
Western Conference champion, Houston Rockets. At guard, 6'7" from Houston, number 22, Clyde, the Glide, Drexler. The other guard, 6'3" from North Carolina, number 30, Smith. At one forward, 6'5" from American International, number 17, Ellie. The other forward, 6'10" from Alabama, number 25, and at center, 7 feet from Houston, number 34, the Dream, Hakeem.
As always, we have double coverage on the sidelines during the NBA Finals. Reports coming up from both Ahmad Rashad and Hannah Storm. Let's start with Ahmad.
All right, Marv, I spoke with Bill Walton just mentioned earlier about Penny Hardaway being an impact player. I talked to Penny about that. He said that from day one he knew that he was going to have to be an impact player on this team. He felt like he had proven himself during the season, but he also realized that this is the most important game of the postseason and that he is ready to step it up. Hannah?
Well, Ahmad, Clyde Drexler, the man on this team who's never won an NBA title, has taken it upon himself to get this team focused as they return home. Clyde knows the heartache of what can happen when you lose that focus. In 1990, his Portland Trail Blazers dropped 3 in a row at home in the NBA Finals. In 1992, they did it again. They lost 2 out of 3 at home. So over the last 2 days, he's quietly gone to his teammates. He's urged them not to relax, stay focused, and play with intensity. And Clyde Drexler, for one, is approaching this game as if it's a Game 7. Marv?
Thank you, Hannah. And the officials tonight, Hugh Evans, Mike Mathis, Bennett Salvatore. Hugh Evans working his 25th NBA Finals game. That's third most among active referees. And Bennett Salvatore working his very first Finals. So we're just about set for game number 3.
Anytime the Orlando Magic team has been in any kind of trouble this year, and they certainly are in trouble right now, they have come together and dug their heels in defensively, and that's exactly what they have to do to get a win on the road. They can't give up anywhere around 118 points a game and win.
And Houston, on the other hand, very aware of what happened in the Western Conference Finals. Winning 2 on the road, coming home and giving it all back. They're coming out running tonight.
And the tip controlled by the Magic. Anfernee Hardaway met by Kenny Smith. Nick Anderson, who's been very quiet over the first 2 games. And a Scott. Horace Grant. And an open shot for Anderson, coming up short on the 3. So the Rockets to the offense for the first time.
Good ball movement. Very poor execution of a wide open jumper by Anderson.
Drexler. Olajuwon going right to it. And the rebound handled by Anderson.
Off the start of game 2, the Magic played one-on-one with Shaq on Hakeem. I think Hakeem wanted to see what was coming there. His quick move was beat the double team.
Horry on the switch, able to play Hardaway. Grant with the mismatch. So Horace Grant, who was met on the shuffle by Kenny Smith, giving Orlando a 2-0 lead.
Well, Horace realizes he has to be more aggressive offensively. He told me yesterday he plans to go to the offensive board more and pick up the loose stuff there.
Horry off the lead, could not convert. We are just underway as Hardaway had it taken away by Smith. Ellie. So the game is tied at 2.
Well, that's what the Rockets have, that quick strike capability. And when your point guard turns the ball over there, the rest of the Magic defense is not in position to get back.
And as Shaquille makes his move, he's hit by the reach-in foul.
A pressure defense by Kenny Smith on Hardaway, and Kenny a little bit careless with the ball, and then Ellie just out-sprinting everybody and beating Nick Anderson to the goal.
And Olajuwon is called on the foul. You saw the reaction by Hakeem.
Foul so very critical. Little one like that. Kenny Smith, I thought, picked up that foul.
Grant, yes. Horace Grant, who has not been getting many open looks from that area, has both field goals for the Magic.
Matt talked about the need for Horace Grant to be more aggressive. That's not the nature of his game. He's not an individual creative player. He has to feed off the brilliance of others.
Orlando with a 4-2 lead. Olajuwon. And handled by Anderson.
2 shots for Hakeem. Neither one of them a good, clean look.
Man of defense from the crowd. Again, Grant. Well, he's getting the Phil Jackson approach. He's talked about that. He felt that Phil would constantly give him a shot in the earlier series against the Chicago Bulls, and he was able to take advantage. And he's hit 3 here in the early going, and a foul is called on the Magic. It's a loose ball on Grant.
Well, this is Horace Grant's comfort area, and this is where he was getting those looks in the Chicago series. In the Indiana series, he was moved down to the baseline and didn't get as many shots. So he'll be up there when the guards are posting and when Shaq is inside.
Hakeem going to the second option. Off the spin. The Magic 6. The Rockets 4 with 3 minutes gone by. They double up on Shaquille. Hardaway for 3. Penny Hardaway from downtown, and it's a 9-4 Orlando lead.
Orlando has taken the crowd out. They're sitting down. Nothing really to cheer about yet.
Drexler on the rebound with the box out, and he pops. So Houston off to a slow shooting start. And a Scott. Grant off the fake. And a foul is called. Mike Mathis at the baseline. Oh, it's a 3-second violation.
So far, I think the Magic are showing a lot of poise. Nobody is really trying to force anything or moving the ball nicely, waiting for the open shot. And actually, Shaquille a little bit eager there to get to the offensive glass, caught the lane.
And the Rockets only 2 of 8 from the field. Horry off the fake. Horry coming off a terrific all-around performance in game number 2, brings the Rockets within 3.
And Horry is presenting so many problems for Horace Grant, who's just not used to playing defense behind the line. He's usually inside, pounding away with much bigger guys back to the basket game.
Now Hardaway posting. And again, it is Grant. Well, O'Neal had it knocked away by Olajuwon. Open 3 for Ellie. first 2 shots, and the game is tied at 9.
The exact same spot as the game winner of Game 7, Phoenix, Western Conference semifinals.
Nice pass. Shaquille has been piling up the assist in this series, finding the cutting Horace Grant, and the Magic leading 11-9. Olajuwon, and rebounded by Anderson. Hakeem not getting the good shots here at the start.
Shaquille is so big, you've got to move and get him shaking his feet a little bit, and then come to a stop. That's what the big guys can't really do. Move laterally and then elevate.
Smith for 3. Kenny Smith, who was on fire from three-point land in Game 1, and then did not get much time in Game 2 because of the great performance by Sam Cassell. Nick Anderson continues to struggle, but on the back tap, kept alive by Dennis Scott. Give and go with Grant, and Horace Grant very much into the offense here at the start. He's at 5 of 6. He has 10 points.
His arm's going to get tired, and the reason he's getting so many shot opportunities, Robert Horry is the man that's looking to double team and scramble defensively, something he did so well in Game 2.
6:19 left in the first. The Magic lead by 4. Horace Grant off to a fast start. He's at 5 of 6 from the field. He has 10 points. Horace made the point to us that it's important, if the Magic are to get it to this series, for others aside from O'Neal and Hardaway to get into the scoring column.
I think, you know, a guy like Dennis or Nick is going to have to step up in terms of scoring. You know, Houston always have Clyde and Hakeem scoring, but, you know, a guy like Sam Cassell or Robert Horry would step up, or even Kenny Smith on a given night. And I think, you know, Nick and Dennis need more opportunities to score.
Well, it's going to be very difficult for Dennis to get those scoring opportunities because the Rockets are hugging up on him. They don't want to give him good looks beyond the three-point line.
Magic 13 and the Rockets 9, halfway through this first quarter.
There's been no style to Houston's game so far, no penetration and dish. It's all one-on-one. That shot goes, but that won't go all game like that.
Clyde Drexler with his first field goal. 2-point Orlando lead. Orlando's hit 6 of its first 10 shots. Nice fake by Hardaway, and it draws the foul. Foul on Smith.
In Game 2 particular, where Houston dominated throughout, it was all penetration and dish with terrific ball movement. That's just an incredibly great one-on-one move, fading away after 4 dribbles left. That goes all game.
And that's good defense, Bill, because that's what the Magic set out to do in this game. Cut down on penetration. They got killed with it late by Drexler, and they also got hurt quite a bit by Sam Cassell. So they'd rather give up the jumper, and they will force a guy like Drexler to his left. It's not as good a percentage shot.
15-11 Orlando. And Smith facing some light pressure from Hardaway.
Houston really has worked on the press in the last day and a half.
Smith for 3. And Hakeem continues to dig, which led to the jump ball. It looked to be an easy retrieve for Shaquille O'Neal, but Olajuwon was right there.
When you're as big as Shaq is, there's a tendency not to block out. You just turn, his hands aren't even up. Hakeem with the knee pads, not afraid to go to that ground and dig it out.
And Mike Mathis says do it again, a bad toss, or apparently the attempt to steal the jump. So Houston will get possession. Mike Mathis felt that Shaquille stepped in too quickly. The lead for Drexler. He beat Anderson, who turned his head. Magic leading by 2.
The skill of Robert Horry, so multifaceted. The reverse pass, we saw it in Game 2 with Hakeem, now to Drexler.
Hardaway. And back come the Rockets. They're down by 2 with 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Olajuwon. Again, not a good shot. Drexler there, and a foul is called.
Well, this side out of bounds play is one the Magic should know well. It's the same one they use for Nick Anderson or Penny Hardaway. The little difference there is Drexler becomes so much more effective because of his size, and he plays over the rim. So a little jab step out to the wing, and then a little curl up for the alley-oop.
Foul was called on Scott. Drexler. Clyde throwing it to tie the game at 15.
And Houston just wasted their delay of game, something they won't be able to use now at the end. Hannah Storm remarked earlier about Clyde Drexler, how important this championship is. He doesn't have one. He's got it all on the line tonight.
And this is third attempt at winning the championship trophy. Scott for three. Dennis Scott still trying to find the touch. In game two, only 3 of 10, 9 points at the 2 from downtown.
Penny Hardaway doing a very good job, much better than the first 2 games. Hakeem delivers inside of keeping Kenny Smith under control, not letting him run.
The Magic 18, the Rockets 17. Shaquille O'Neal not able to get into it until now. That's his first field goal.
And the reason that one would look so easy, no double team, and he just overpowers Hakeem inside.
3-point lead for the Magic. Smith able to elude Hardaway. A rare 2-pointer in this series for Kenny Smith.
The Magic have gone to a set that the Rockets like to use where they overload one side, and it makes the rotations on the weak side so much more difficult. Here it is again.
Kenny Smith had not scored since his 7th 3-pointer at the end of the opening game. Grant with the save. Scott kept alive by Anderson. O'Neal from Hardaway. And both clubs wondering why no call. Smith for 3. Drexler on the rebound. Drexler with the drive. And now rebounded by Anderson. 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Hardaway around the back. Hardaway going the distance. What a move by Anfernee Hardaway.
Well, that's the magical moves of Anfernee Hardaway in the open floor, bearing down you. He can do that just about any time he wants when he gets open space.
Olajuwon. And Horace Grant wondering why no foul. Looking to draw the offensive call.
Getting to the part of the series, though, Marv, every playoffs, referees at one point will just put the whistle away. That was a traveling violation.
Scott, yes. Dennis Scott with his second field goal. So the Magic leading 24-21, 2:20 left in this first quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Bill Walton from the Summit in Houston. Game 3 of this best-of-7 NBA Finals Series. Olajuwon with very little room to operate.
Both teams showing a lot of poise in their half-court offense, taking what is there. When they're getting double-teamed, they're making the good passes, getting good open shots. When the double team is not there, they're making their one-on-one move.
O'Neal, so Shaquille with his second field goal. He has 4. Hakeem is 4 of 9. He has 8 points. The Magic 26, the Rockets 23. Drexler facing the double team, finding Ellie. Mario Ellie from downtown.
It's been Clyde Drexler's offensive show. He's been scoring, passing, running the offense, dictating the flow.
The game is tied at 26. And a foul is called against the Rockets. That is the second on Olajuwon.
And referee Mike Mathis saying that Olajuwon used his knee and leg to try to root Shaquille out of there. And it is, that right leg is up underneath the thigh of Hakeem Olajuwon. That's the new interpretation of the rules. One more time, there's Hakeem trying to push out with that knee, and Mike Mathis right on the baseline had it all away.
A minute 22 to go in the first.
Shaq in the post, and the overload here is causing the Rockets a problem, because if they come and double team with this man, Robert Horry down on the baseline has this man or that man to guard. So the confusion here leaves Shaquille one-on-one against Hakeem Olajuwon, something that both of those centers love.
At some point in this series, teams are going to have to stay at home. The constant double teaming just leaves too many wide open shooters. And whichever center can establish a rhythm, going to be very difficult for Hakeem Olajuwon right now on the bench with the 2 fouls. The second one, very cheap.
Well, that's why the coaches have to go to that. Now with Hakeem, when he comes back into the game, you have to have double teaming on Shaq. You can't afford to get your big man. Same reason why I think Brian Hill was reluctant to let Shaq play Hakeem one-on-one, although he has to do it certain parts of the game. Shaq wanted the challenge. He gave it to him, decided to call it off after the 2 fouls.
And Charles Jones, the 38-year-old, 11-year veteran, who did a nice job the other night in Orlando, has come on with Hakeem Olajuwon sitting down after picking up the 2. And they immediately go to Shaquille. Charles Jones getting some help, as you'd expect. And a pushing foul, the call against the Rockets. Foul on Kenny Smith, his second, and here comes Sam Cassell.
There's Penny Hardaway on the penetration in there, and somebody was asking, what is a hand check? That is a hand check, just a little bit of a touch, and that's all started here in the finals last year with Derek Harper and Kenny Smith. The league decided to make that call it much more literally, and it pretty much worked all of this year, but in a playoff situation, you don't like to see fouls like that called.
Rockets over the limit, so Hardaway able to extend to a 28-26 Orlando lead. Sam Cassell, 30 minutes in game 2, 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from downtown for 31 points. Horry with no hesitation firing the 3, and then knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Charles Jones of the Rockets.
Poor offensive set, unless, of course, that jumper goes down, which it didn't. I'd get the ball back to Drexler. He's the man that's got the flow going for the Rockets.
Ryan Shaw has come on for the first time. And a travel on Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq a little over-anxious there, having Charles Jones on his back. He's seen him many times so far in the first 2 games plus, and he has been almost putting the imprint of his shoulder into the chest of Charles Jones at every opportunity.
But you have to like the style of the Magic right now. They got 11 baskets, 10 assists on those 11, 5 for Penny, 3 for Shaq.
Drexler, oh, he got crunched. Shaquille O'Neal came over to help out. And the foul called on Hardaway, took a poke in the eye in the process.
Well, anytime Hakeem Olajuwon is on the bench, Clyde Drexler really becomes the focus of the Houston Rocket offense with post-ups like this, waiting for a double team. It doesn't come, so he puts his shoulder right into Penny Hardaway and then gets sandwiched by Shaquille O'Neal, and Penny Hardaway took a shot in the eye.
Apparently he is all right. Remaining on the floor, Clyde Drexler off to the fast start. 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Game is tied at 28 with a half minute left in this first quarter. Shaw racing with Cassell. Shaw all the way. I don't think that was his intention.
No, I think he was trying to get in there and create, and then he got in there further than he actually wanted to and threw up the lefty prayer.
The Houston centers, they're sticking with Shaq. The penetration is there all the way for Orlando.
Orlando by 2, 10 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Cassell off the dribble, sets it up for the 3. Rebounded by Hardaway, checking the clock. Hardaway for Scott, gets it off in time. And that's the end of the first quarter here at the Summit in Houston. So Penny Hardaway looking to get other people involved, as he mentioned to us earlier. 5 assists in the first quarter. The Magic 30, the Rockets 28. Strong shooting first quarter for Orlando, 12 of 20 for 60% as they try to get back into the series. And we'll be back in a moment.
You're watching the 1995 NBA Finals on NBC.
Well, here at the Summit, outer space motif between quarters would remind us that 2-time Oscar winner Tom Hanks, one of the stars of the soon-to-be-released motion picture Apollo 13, will be Bob Costas' guest, as will Charles Barkley. That's coming up at halftime. That was not, incidentally, Tom in the spacesuit, although he does claim to do his own stunts. That was not one of them, should be pointed out. 2-point lead for the Magic as we head to the second quarter. Let's go to Hannah Storm.
Well, Marv, Rudy Tomjanovich told his team, you guys are way too satisfied with the jumper. You got to make them play defense, attack them offensively. He said 30 points is way too much to give up to the Orlando Magic in the first quarter, Marv.
All right, Hannah, how about the Rudy Tomjanovich pep talk before game 2? This is after the victory in overtime in game 1. Apparently did not like what he saw at the shoot-around earlier in the day and really laid into his ball club.
The hardest thing to do is keep your team on edge. Keep going. This Houston Rocket team has not played well this year from the favored position. Able, though, to get all the way to the finals. Trying to close out now.
Olajuwon back on the floor playing with 2 fouls. Goes to the series of spins, and he was hit. Brian Shaw came over to help out, and he's called for the hack.
Well, one of the big reasons why the Rockets only 2 down after that first quarter, they had 5 offensive rebounds. Very uncharacteristic for them. They're only getting 9 a game in the first 2 games of the series. Have one of the poorest offensive rebounding teams in the league.
Nice pass, Olajuwon for the cutting Cassell, and that ties the game at 30. Orlando going with O'Neal along with Jeff Turner. Anthony Bowie has come on for the first time. Dennis Scott and Brian Shaw. Illegal defense called for the first time against the Rockets.
This has been Hakeem Olajuwon's best sequence of the night. It gets him on the move and then just dumps it down. When you're as good a passer as Hakeem is, you don't have to think pass. That'll come naturally.
Here's Shaw for 3. Brian Shaw has been on fire from downtown in the playoffs. This after he struggled from the field during the regular season. It opens up a 3-point Orlando lead. Cassell coming up short, and O'Neal on the rebound.
The crowd very quiet tonight, subdued.
Turner from deep.
Well, you don't like to see those perimeter shots, the 3-point shots just being thrown up there without some penetration and a kick out or going into the post and then out.
Olajuwon fouled by O'Neal. That is his first.
And referee Hugh Evans just glaring at the Rocket bench. I'm sure hearing it ever since that second one was called on Olajuwon. A couple of typical Olajuwon spins and fakes going up in the air and drawing contact from Shaquille O'Neal for his first.
Marv, the 2 toughest guys I ever had to play against in the low post, Abdul-Jabbar and Kevin McHale. This guy Olajuwon is really a combination of the 2 with the strength of Jabbar, the moves, the light feet of McHale. Almost a combination of Mozart and Beethoven.
Yes. You know, Matt and I were making that very same point earlier today. Mozart and Beethoven. Orlando leading 33-31. The steal by Cassell. Sam Cassell ties the game.
And that gets the crowd involved, and that's what the crowd wants to see. Some aggressive defense, and then turn it into a fast break layup.
Here's Shaw for 3. 3-on-2, led by Drexler. Goes behind the back, but Cassell couldn't handle the pass. Oh, the steal by Ellie. Took it away from Turner and then recovered by Shaw. And Bennett Salvatore blowing the whistle out at center court. Apparently wants to adjust the shot clock. There were a couple of changes on the clock.
Well, Dennis Scott telegraphing that pass, and Sam Cassell with the quick hand into the passing lane and the easy finish off with so much going back and forth. At least the trail official, Bennett Salvatore, had the wherewithal to keep an eye on the clock and realize something amiss.
It's not a favorite play if you're operating the 24-second clock.
Stop, start, stop, start.
2 minutes in. Second quarter, Rockets and Magic tied at 33. That's the Rockets' first turnover. They double up on O'Neal. Shaw and Brian Shaw taking it to the hoop. He has 7 points.
So valuable for Brian Shaw because Nick Anderson really has not been much of a factor since the early moments of game 1.
illegal defense. So that's the warning against Orlando.
Jeff Turner, whose man in this situation, Charles Jones, up above the tip of the circle. Jeff has to stay up above the free throw line. He dropped down. He was illegal.
The Magic by 2, 2.5 gone by in the second.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Sprite. Image is nothing. Thirst is everything. Obey your thirst. Sprite. By Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Well, thus far in this first half, Hakeem Olajuwon, 4 of 9 from the field, 9 points, 4 rebounds. Shaquille O'Neal has hit 2 out of 4. He has 4 points. Very quiet start for Shaq, but does have 4 assists, only 2 rebounds. What has the matchup been like from the point of view of Hakeem Olajuwon? Physically, Hakeem is dwarfed by Shaq. We talked about that with Hakeem.
In basketball, there are some guys that are big, but they play small. So we call them the big little guy because they play like a little guy. And there are some little guys that play real big. But Shaquille is a big man. He's a big guy and he plays big. This is a 24-hour job, just trying to contain him. He's definitely a force in the middle.
So Hakeem says Shaquille is a big guy.
Shaq is going to eventually change the whole way the game is played. Since he entered the NBA, this is just his 3rd year. Nobody else has been even considered a center coming out of college. And he poses so many problems because he can move so well. This is not just a guy who is growing roots in the court out there out of those big feet of his size 22 shoe. I wear a size 17 shoe, and that's quite large.
Matt, what's your shoe size?
I forgot. Clyde Drexler continues to be the man that the Rockets are looking to run their offense through. He showed a lot of patience there and has had a lot of effective drives to the basket, if not scoring, drawing the fouls.
Magic 35 and the Rockets 34. Nick Anderson back on the floor. Horace Grant sitting it out for a while after the good start. O'Neal getting inside, taking advantage of Charles Jones.
Well, whenever Charles Jones and Olajuwon on the floor together, Charles will take the brunt of the Shaq attack, and Olajuwon will look to help out on the weak side.
Illegal defense for the second time. That'll be a technical foul.
And what Brian Hill is saying, that little pump fake, well, not that pump fake, that's the pump fake that got the ball into O'Neal against Charles Jones, but the pump fake at the other end of the floor by the Rockets is what drew the Magic illegally. And normally on that pump fake, you're allowed to drop down into the so-called illegal zone and then get back.
Sam Cassell connecting on the technical. The Magic 37, the Rockets 35. Early second quarter. Horry, played by Turner, goes to the left hand and had nowhere to go. He wanted to dish it off, but that was very close to a travel, and then very fortunate for Horry that it was deflected out of bounds.
The bailout, but that's one of the liabilities that Rudy Tomjanovich has to deal with when you got Charles Jones, and they're not much of an offensive force. Here's the matchup.
Shot clock at 5. O'Neal playing Olajuwon very well. Horry back for Olajuwon. And it's a 24-second violation.
Oh, just a troubling possession all the way around for the Rockets. Just once Olajuwon gave the ball up the first time they were in trouble, and then the second time, no chance as Robert Horry could not turn the corner on Shaq.
But another fine example of the underrated and underappreciated defensive capabilities of the Orlando Magic, including Shaquille O'Neal, who is able to come out on the perimeter and no threat there, no attack to drive. He's 18 feet from the hoop there. Nice patience by Shaq.
Shaw for 3. And back comes Drexler. Rockets trailing by 2.
Hakeem on the run.
Olajuwon at a jump hook. What a shot by Hakeem.
Well, I think Hakeem realized he was so tentative on that last possession. It looks like he's going to decide when he's going to get. He's going to try to make something happen.
And that will count. Anfernee Bowie receiving credit on the goaltend.
In the low post, get him going one way, come back in the other, and get right in the air. Virtually impossible to defend there, but the sprint back on defense will result in the goaltend there. Again, so very close on all of those goaltenders.
Magic leading 39-37. Drexler. Clyde Drexler hitting from downtown. Rockets lead by 1. And that gets the crowd going, but Bowie right back. Anfernee Bowie with his second field goal. The Magic 41, the Rockets 40. Now Drexler posting up on Bowie.
Clyde's calling for it, Mark. He's hungry.
Olajuwon. Rebounded by Anderson. Anderson doing a good job off the boards in this first half.
Well, neither team can sustain anything offensively, get any kind of run going. He's basically trading basket, and the crowd is getting very antsy. It was good defense by the Magic, and one of the reasons it's been good, Shaquille O'Neal is really bending his knees, the best I've seen him do it, and he's stopping a couple of plays. They cut off the play at the other side of the floor, and Clyde Drexler just spotting up on the weak side, giving a lot of room there, able to nail the three.
Foul on Cassell. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this first half. Magic in possession, leading by 1. Horry slapping it away with 13 on the shot clock, but Rudy T calling for time. 6:51 left. First half. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Reminder, this coming Thursday, NBC Sports will present golf's premier championship, the U.S. Open. Peter Jacobsen, the leading money winner on the PGA Tour. He's won 2 tournaments this year, now looking for his first major championship victory of his career. The 95th U.S. Open from Chillcutt Hills Golf Club. And our coverage begins Thursday at 11:35 p.m. Eastern Time, following your late local news right here on NBC. Let's check in with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, Shaquille O'Neal has played the entire game. When I checked and tried to find out why he's not taking a break, I found out that he told the coach before the game that he wanted to play this entire game because this was the most important game of the season, Marv.
All right, thank you, Ahmad. Horace Grant back on the floor. Drexler off the steal, delivers to Horry, and he tried to get it back out of control on the part of Robert Horry. Getting back to the point that Ahmad mentioned regarding Shaquille O'Neal, Matt, doesn't he have a stamina problem? Is that wise?
No, I think it's an early problem that he has maybe in the first 5-6 minutes of the game where he needs a little bit of a breather. I think mentally he came in with a different approach in this one, that he was just going to stay out there as long as it took.
Here's Shaw, yes. Ryan Shaw with the touch. 4 out of 6 for the field. He has 9 points, and it's the Magic 43, the Rockets 40.
Orlando going with the 3 guards. Terrific defense, Penny Hardaway. I think that's a matchup that Orlando really needs to stick with. Drexler guarded by Hardaway.
O'Neal hacked, fouled by Jones.
Clyde Drexler working without the ball, sliding, always floating over the court. A little bit of bobbling on the pass, forced him to shoot that fadeaway. That's the guy you want to bring out and look for the next option if you drop the first pass.
Clyde Drexler hearing it from the crowd, departing with 12 points, along with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Shaquille O'Neal to the line for the first time. He was 9 of 14 in game number 2. And suddenly it's turned at the free throw line for Shaquille, who went through a troublesome period in the series against the Pacers.
If you practice enough, you can get good at almost anything.
I don't know, though. He'll say he was practicing and it didn't help. Now, you know he's practicing during the Indiana series, and he goes 0 for 8. What's the answer there? Keep practicing, as your mom would tell you.
Oh, terrific block.
Olajuwon recaptures. Horry on the rebound. Oh, Horry with the putback wants to take advantage on the transition and cannot. A bad pass from Shaquille, but it's recovered by Nick Anderson. Shaw for three. Yes. Brian Shaw providing a lift off the bench. He has 12 points, and Orlando has matched its biggest lead of the night. They're up by 5. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in this first half. And it goes back to the Magic.
Well, we talked before the game about other players for the Magic supporting Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway. Horace Grant got off to a great start, 5 for 6 in the field, and Brian Shaw now with 11 points, so they are getting it from other people.
It's been an excellent shooting first half for Orlando, 19 of 30, 63%. Illegal defense called, and a technical foul awarded.
The flow has all been Orlando tonight, even though Houston is still in there. Houston is a team that's dropping the passes out of bounds. Houston is a team that's not moving the ball the extra pass that distinguished their games in the first 2 games at Orlando. The open shots going down for Orlando, the extra effort, the extra push.
I think it's all starting from the transition defense, even though the Rockets have gotten 4 opportunities to get out and run in 7 points, but the Magic much better in transition and much better in stopping the ball, and that's where your defense starts.
Hardaway now facing up against Ellie. Anfernee Hardaway has 12, biggest lead of the game. The Magic up by 8. 4.5 remaining in this first half. Horry and a 3-second violation. The basket will not count.
Well, actually, Olajuwon thought that Robert Horry on that drive was going to shoot the ball, and then when he was stopped by Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon never got out of the lane.
Shaquille getting the position and fouled by Jones. That's 2 on Charles Jones.
Penny Hardaway will get the ball in the low post. He'll keep his back, but he realizes he's got a pretty good defender, a good strength man in Ellie, so he turns and faces, and that forces the defender to take a step back and gives him the wide open shot, which he is hitting beautifully.
Well, Ellie, who is a good defender, and a couple of sequences ago in transition made a terrific play on picking up Shaquille O'Neal running the floor to prevent something there. Shaw later hit the 3-pointer, but that time on the defense by Hardaway, Mario Ellie with his hands down. There's no way you can challenge the shot when you keep your hands down that low.
But if you put your hands up, he goes right by you and dunks in your face. And that's embarrassing.
Orlando 7 of 9 at the line, and Shaquille is 2 of 4. 51-42 Orlando. We approach 4 minutes left in the half, and Cassell will it count? No, offensive foul.
And Sam Cassell cannot believe this. He got himself in trouble in game 1, getting all caught up with the officials. Watch the penetration, the behind the back, and the little lean in, and Brian Shaw just leaning back. He thought it was a charge. Sam Cassell and the crowd here at the Summit can't believe it.
Orlando has hit its last 5 shots. Anderson with the roll. Back comes Cassell. Anderson is back. Ellie. Oh! Cassell for Ellie, who came flying to the basket. 51-44. The Magic on top. Brian Shaw going right back. Cassell leads the break. This time the Magic able to get back.
This is Houston Rocket basketball, though. Up and down the court.
13 points for Olajuwon. And the Orlando lead is now 5. And the crowd very much back into it. Shaw being waved off by Mike Mathis, and a holding foul on Charles Jones. That's his 3rd.
Terrific vision here by Sam Cassell. He's got Robert Horry on what looks like a 2-on-1 situation. He did not make that pass because I think out of the corner of his eye, he saw Mario Ellie streaking down the middle. And now Cassell drawing 2 defenders. Shaq a little bit weary. He's played every minute, not getting back well enough to find Hakeem Olajuwon.
Charles Jones sitting down. Clyde Drexler is back.
Got Hakeem back on Shaq.
Hardaway. Shaw, who's been on fire. And the rebound handled by Shaquille. What a ball fake. Olajuwon went for it, and a foul. Offensive foul. Shaquille O'Neal called for the charge.
Well, you are right, Marv. That ball fake, and Hakeem Olajuwon didn't really react to it on about for a 2 count, and actually caught up. Oh, there it is. And then Shaq on the charge.
Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll be joined by 2 guys who once starred in Philadelphia, Charles Barkley and Tom Hanks. Barkley's Phoenix Suns know all about these Houston Rockets after squandering a 3-1 lead against them in the second round. And Tom Hanks is here in Houston appropriately since his new movie Apollo 13 opens this coming week. Back down to courtside as we rejoin Marv, Matt, and Bill.
Thank you, Bob. 2:56 remaining in this first half. And the Magic leading the Rockets 51-46. Orlando has seen the lead cut into. Both Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon now have 2 fouls apiece. A look at the matchup. Shaquille 3 of 5 for the field, and Hakeem 6 of 13.
I think Shaq is standing to get a little bit more aggressive out there. Use his ability to move.
Drexler. Oh, what an adjustment by Clyde Drexler.
The body control, the ability to change his mind at this level, that's what it's all about, making the correct decision.
Shaw, fielded by O'Neal, and a foul is called as Drexler hit the floor.
Well, Hakeem Olajuwon will draw a double team up around the foul line, pretty high for that, and that makes the pass a lot easier when he can see the whole floor facing the basket, and Clyde Drexler just cuts to the rim in the open area, which is what you need, as now Shaquille O'Neal left alone after Olajuwon going over to block the shot, and Drexler able to swat that.
And how tough is Shaq? Drexler comes, and Drexler's a big guy. He's 6'7". He comes and takes the hardest foul as he can, and he ends up falling backwards.
Shaquille O'Neal 2 of 5 at the line.
But at least tonight, Shaq's got the sweat flowing. Always a good sign for Orlando.
Bill with the sweat check barometer going. Magic 51, Rockets 48. Smith how to tie it with a shot from downtown. Nick Anderson continues to struggle, although he's done the job off the boards. Nick with 7 rebounds in this first half. Here's the double. Shot clock at 10. O'Neal. Rebounded by Horry. Smith for Drexler. And the terrific quick outlet by Horry got that going.
And the mistake defensively by Nick Anderson coming up, going the wrong way, and that enabled Kenny Smith to force the action and hit the trailer.
8-0 run by the Rockets. 11 remaining on the shot clock and a minute 29 to go in this first half.
Marv, you're so right. The little things that Robert Horry does, Matt alluded to it in the open. He's everywhere. He's tipping loose ball. He's rebounding. He's finishing. An incredible performance in this series for Robert Horry.
Would you say there are Scottie Pippen-like qualities in his game?
Certainly at the defensive end, no question.
But not the creative offense that Scottie Pippen has.
Scott not able to hit. Here comes Smith. 3 on 2. And Drexler is fouled. Clobbered by Anderson.
Robert Horry, a terrific rebounder, the snatch, and quickly, right away, almost before he lands, just allows Smith to finish. But when the defense collapses, Drexler is able to complete the play. Robert Horry, time and time again, the little things.
And then on this next fast break opportunity, Kenny Smith and Clyde Drexler in the one-on-one, maybe one too many passes. Had Kenny Smith kept it, he would have got the open layup. Now Clyde has to go to the line to try to get him there, but you want to reward a guy like Clyde Drexler who runs the floor so well. So when a guy gets out and sprints, you want to give it to him.
Isn't that part of the frustration, though, of Kenny Smith for the Houston Rockets as Hakeem takes a rest to prevent the third foul pickup?
Rockets and Magic tied at 51. 9 unanswered points by Houston over the last 3.5 minutes. Coming up on a minute, there was a deflection by Smith. Crowd wanted a violation. Here's Hardaway. Horry by Horry. Horry, at the other end.
Oh, the Rockets do such a terrific job of looking for and waiting for the trailer in fast break situations.
I'd start just taking fouls on Shaq right now. You got the crowd in it, let him miss some.
And a foul against the Rockets. Orlando, Bill, has missed its last 11 shots.
But here's an opportunity. Shaq is not getting his free throws, but the fast break opportunity for the Rockets. Everybody running the spacing, and Horry the finger roll to complete. And now the crowd is sensing a surge here, really pushing, driving their team.
This is a Houston team that over the regular season was only 25-16 here at home. 13 teams had better home records during the course of the regular season, and they've had this improbable run, as you see Shaquille sitting down in this final minute of the first half. With all the victories on the road, winning 9 of 12 on the road during the playoffs, and only 4 here at home, and having a tough time with Orlando in this first half as they're trying to go up 3-0 on the series.
As Houston closed out the half, run it through Drexler. He's been the man throughout offensively. Get it to him early, get moving.
Team is now tied at 53. The Rockets able to come from behind after trailing by as many as 9. Drexler, shot clock rolling down. Drexler on the follow.
Horry right there again.
And the foul called on the Magic.
Let's call foul Magic number 31, Jeff Turner.
It's on Turner.
I don't think Clyde on the offensive rebound realized how much time he had. Robert Horry working in it for the offensive rebound. There was still 10 seconds when Clyde threw up the second one.
Both teams are over the foul limit, so it is a shooting foul with 7 4/10 seconds to go in the half. Houston has had the edge on the offensive boards with 7 rebounds, and Orlando with 4.
Marv, you asked me about the Scottie Pippen comparison. Robert Horry is significantly taller. He's a good 6'10", Scottie 6'6", 6'7". I think Robert Horry will eventually develop the way Scottie did with the offensive repertoire of his own creative moves.
But there is no question that Robert Horry is certainly moving into that defensive realm of a Scottie Pippen and of the other good defenders in this league. I don't think it'll be too long before he's a member of the all-defensive team.
22nd timeout is called. Rockets and Magic are tied at 53. And stay with us at halftime. Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report. Charles Barkley will be on hand, as will two-time Oscar winner Tom Hanks. That is coming up at halftime. As we mentioned earlier, this certainly a must-win situation for the Magic. They must win 2 of 3 here at the Summit just to bring the series back to Orlando.
Well, they are obviously well aware of the predicament that they're in, Marv, but there's no way they can let themselves think about the long range. It's the short range that they have to be concerned about.
And the only 2 teams who lost their first 2 games at home in a best-of-7 in NBA playoff history. As you saw, the Lakers did it, as did the Rockets.
Good job of the Rockets to keep the ball out of Hardaway's hands.
Final seconds of the half. Anderson popping. So at the half. The Rockets coming back from a 9-point deficit, and they lead by 1. It's the Rockets 54 and the Magic 53. Clyde Drexler, the high point man, with 17. Welcome back to the Summit in Houston. Rockets lead by 1. Marv Albert with Bill Walton and Matt Gukas. The Rockets trailing by as many as 9, able to turn it around in the second quarter. Let's check out the Miller Lite halftime statistics. A look at the shooting percentages. Magic 20 of 39, 51% in the first half. They cooled off in the second quarter, and the Rockets shooting 50%.
Marv, but Shaq has only taken 6 shots. In basketball, it's not how many you make, it's how many you take. He has given up the ball too early. He has to attack.
And the Magic looking for that third score. There it is, Brian Shaw with 12 points. Sam Cassell never really got into the rhythm that he had in Game 2 when he was penetrating. The Magic did a good job of shutting him off.
So the high point man, Clyde Drexler, with an outstanding first half, 6 of 11 for 17 points. We'll be right back. Well, Houston able to get back into it. Orlando going the final 4 minutes and 45 seconds of the first half without a field goal. They missed their last 7 shots. Hakeem Olajuwon with 13 points. Has 2 personal fouls. Clyde Drexler, 17 points. 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Horace Grant got off to the fast start. He scored 10 of Orlando's first 13 points, but has not scored since then.
Well, he got them because Robert Horry, the man defending him, was the double teamer. They just made the adjustment and sent somebody else. Horry staying closer to Horace Grant after that.
Third quarter is underway. Olajuwon working against O'Neal. Anderson trying to help out. Ellie checks the shot clock. It's down to 6. And the outside official, Bennett Salvatore, indicating the hold on Dennis Scott for Scott, his second personal.
Well, the Rockets in all kinds of trouble there with the shot clock winding down. Mario Ellie was going to have to put up a hope shot, but bailed out on the play with Dennis Scott unnecessarily grabbing Robert Horry.
Smith in the backcourt. Horry, Ellie, Olajuwon up front. 3-point attempt by Ellie. Hardaway, met by Smith. Grant off the head fake.
That's not Horace Grant's game. Coaches would love it to be his game to be able to post up, but he's more of a complimentary player.
Drexler. Clyde Drexler extends to a 56-53 Houston lead.
And Bill, that's one of those shots you talk about. It's only a good one if it goes in. Nobody underneath the backboard, but Clyde able to nail it.
Hardaway drove the double team. Here is Scott for 3. Dennis Scott is now 2 of 6 for the field, and it led to the fast break, but the basket won't count. Offensive foul is called. Foul on Drexler.
That fast break ignited by Horry's defense once again, and Drexler just a little bit out of control. You got to think, stop at that foul line. Maybe a bit of a flop.
Drexler called for his first. Shaquille getting position.
And Olajuwon knew he was beaten badly on the position situation and wisely just backed off, gave it rather than fouling Shaq this early in the third quarter.
Rockets by 1. Hakeem, yes, and it counts. 15 for Olajuwon, and the third foul collected by O'Neal.
And this is one of the habits that Shaq is going to have to shed, and it's that reach in and trying to strip the man. Sometimes I don't think Shaq realizes his presence in there and the size. Just go up and try to challenge the shot, not necessarily foul it, but on those strip plays, you'll get one once in a while, but you're also going to pick up a lot of needless fouls.
But why would the biggest guy in the entire league think about reaching in and blocking down low? Get up in the air and slap that back.
O'Neal, he has 12, and it's a 59-57 Houston lead.
Well, we mentioned at halftime that Shaq was not very active shooting the ball, giving it up out of double teams. He'll be much more aggressive in this second half, looking for his offense.
Beautiful post entry.
for three. And it went through O'Neal's hands. Olajuwon. Well, that cost. Shaquille had it and lost it.
That's the 8th offensive rebound for the Rockets. That's a bunch for them, and they're 11-point, killing the Magic in that area.
O'Neal. And Shaquille was looking for a call. He thought he was pushed. Rockets lead 61-59. 2.5 gone by in the third quarter. 16 on the shot clock. It will be Houston ball.
The casualness of Shaq just allowing Clyde Drexler to come in, and Olajuwon raked across the arm. No call.
Hear the reaction from the crowd here at the Summit. Grant with his first field goal since the early moments of the first quarter, and he's tied the game at 61.
Horace not tentative on anything. Every time he gets the ball, even with a hand in his face, he's looking to be offensive-minded.
Beautiful interchange, beautiful set offense.
Olajuwon. And that set offense so patient.
They have the ultimate confidence in the king.
Rockets by 2. Grant. Horry with the rebound.
The snatch above the rim. Horry in perfect rhythm tonight.
Olajuwon off a triple team. Got it out to Smith. Wild pass. Ellie able to save it. Horry for 3. Robert Horry now 3 of 8 from the field. Rockets leading by 2 points. Hardaway, Grant, and he's tied the game at 63.
Well, Kenny Smith a little bit lazy getting back on defense there, stood straight up, and Hardaway took advantage of it to get to the basket, draw the defense, and make the nice dish.
9th assist for Hardaway. Ellie with the lead. And back comes the Magic. Hardaway. Met by the double team.
Nice job by Drexler to cut off Hardaway, as Kenny Smith in all kinds of trouble there.
Scott looking for the entry pass for Shaquille. Anderson. Nick Anderson from downtown after missing his first 4 shots, and the Magic would love to see Nick catch fire. Timeout taken by the Rockets. The Magic now up by 3 points.
Well, here's that play by Hardaway, taking advantage of the defensive lapse, getting to the basket and finding Horace Grant. Once again, Horace Grant over on the weak side, the same play as Ellie left him alone to help out on Hardaway, and then Horace Grant always aggressive defensively, stepping in to force the pass, and then come from the back and strip Robert Horry nicely.
So Orlando has hit 6 of their last 7 after missing their previous 9 shots.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By Acura, who invites you to test drive the exciting new TL Series. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Welcome back to the Summit in Houston, Texas. Nick Anderson feeling a little bit better about things. Moments ago, he hit his first field goal of the night, doing it from downtown. He's now 1 of 5 this evening. It's been a very tough series for Nick, although in that first game, he was on his way to a very satisfying evening. However, he missed the critical 4 free throws in the final 10 seconds of regulation. Not able to bounce back in game 2. And you see the stat line tonight. So overall, 14 of 36 from the field in this series with 39% shooting. 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And the Magic leading by 3 by virtue of that 3-pointer by Anderson. Here's Ellie going glass. Mario Ellie adjusting that shot along the way.
The ball movement for Houston continues to be superlative. They have such confidence in every player on their team to finish. Nobody minds giving it up.
Anderson. And Grant able to hustle it down.
All 6 of Nick's shots have been three-pointers, and most of them have been open ones, but he's also has to think about taking the ball to the basket.
Oh, beautiful move by Shaquille O'Neal. And the foul. Foul committed by Drexler, his second.
This move works so perfectly because the jump hook has been going down as he steps into the lane. Hakeem anticipating that defense, the patience, the decision-making of Shaq, trying to convert the three-point play.
He's 2 of 6 at the line. So it is a three-point play. 17 for Shaquille, who's playing with 3 fouls. Hakeem has 2. And Orlando up 69-65 at the halfway mark of the third quarter. Olajuwon now played by Grant. Olajuwon to the spin. Olajuwon on the back tap. He has 22 points.
Kept alive once again by Robert Horry.
And the Magic outscoring the Rockets now 13-5 on the offensive glass. A big factor in this game, keeping them close.
Anderson for 3. Yes. Oh, you can see he is feeling it. He hit the shot from downtown prior to the timeout. Had another opportunity that rimmed the basket. That was a case of tough luck, and this one was right on.
Houston has to get Nick Anderson off that spot. His 2 threes have been from the exact same location.
Orlando leading 72-67. Hardaway waiting for O'Neal to get into position. They work it around to Anderson. Rebounded by Olajuwon.
There's that Robert Horry again. He was all the way on one side of the floor, got to the other to challenge the shot.
Nice move by Kenny Smith, but could not convert. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third, and it's a 5-point lead for the Magic.
Our Houston offense really struggling. Hakeem is keeping them somewhat close, but no flow to it.
Not a good shot there by Penny Hardaway, and it results in this. A good job by Hardaway, though, to catch up.
Hardaway hustling back and coming up with the block. There's Hardaway pitching it out. Scott and Olajuwon on the rebound. Back come the Rockets. Olajuwon. Nice lead pass tossed by Drexler.
Just outrunning Shaq. When you don't make a play on one end of the court, there's no excuse for not getting back on the other.
Magic leading 72-69. Again, the ball fake by O'Neal. Scott for Grant, and a 3-second violation call.
Penny Hardaway in a screen roll situation just stopped behind the screen to launch the jumper. He's capable of making much better plays than that, but he did the wise thing, didn't sulk about it, hustled back on defense to get that block, and now Shaq not running by, left that open lane for Hakeem Olajuwon. Drexler very patiently waited for the opening. Nice soft pass for the finish.
Sam Cassell back on the floor, replacing Kenny Smith. Only 1 of 7 from the field. So Cassell and Drexler at the guards. Olajuwon, Horry, and Ellie up front. Drexler with a 3-point attempt.
Houston very slow getting into their offense.
Rockets not doing it from downtown. Only 1 for the last 9. Scott for 3. Ellis Scott not shooting well. Now 2 of 8 from the floor, and that has hurt in this series.
And the Magic are not really crashing the glass on these missed jump shots. Both Shaquille O'Neal and Horace Grant standing and watching.
Olajuwon, and the outside official, Hugh Evans, calling the foul on Hardaway.
This last move by Hakeem Olajuwon, this is so effective against a big man. You go one way, you pivot right back, right into your jump hook. There's nothing that Shaq or anybody else can do defensively against that move.
Hardaway called for his second. Olajuwon 2 of 3 at the line. He now has 25 points. The Magic 72 and the Rockets 70. Orlando trying to get back into the series with a win tonight who would cut it to a 2-1 lead for Houston. If the Rockets win, they're up 3-0 with Game 4 in Houston. Wednesday night will be on hand right here on NBC starting 9 o'clock in the East, 6 on the West Coast. Game number 4 of this NBA Final Series. Anderson.
That's Nick's first non-3-point attempt in this game.
Hakeem again in transition.
Olajuwon rebounded by Grant. Hardaway off the stutter step is fouled. And again took a shot near the eye. Timeout called. 2:38 remaining. In the third, you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Ahmad Rashad back at the Summit in Houston. I am joined now by a true sports fan, Ron Howard. Now, Ron, I know a lot of celebrities come to these games and they really don't know what they're doing, but you're a real sports fan.
Well, I've always loved the NBA, and I grew up in LA in the Jerry West, Elgin Baylor years, and I've been a fan ever since.
Did you ever expect this Houston Rocket team to be in these finals?
No, I really didn't. I mean, earlier in the season, it looked like a disaster, and then I don't know how they ever let them get Drexler, but it's all gelling now, and Hakeem is just having such a wonderful playoffs, and it's great to see him go so well against these young guys.
All right, enjoy yourself. Good to see you here.
It's great to see you too.
All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad. We're winding down to this third quarter. 2:38 remaining. In the third, Clyde getting a rest, sitting down with 19. Hardaway at the line as we resume. The Magic up by 2. Penny Hardaway with 7 assists in this third quarter. The NBA Finals record most assists in a quarter, 8. Some pretty good company. Bob Cousy, Magic Johnson on several occasions, Michael Cooper, Robert Reed, former Rocket, all on 8 in a quarter. As you saw, Shaquille O'Neal sitting down. Jeff Turner back on the floor. Here's Ellie and Grant with the rebound.
Well, we have seen in this series, Mario Ellie has had problems with the open layups. He just put too much spin on that one. He's more of a tough shot maker.
But look what happens when Shaq goes to the bench. Right to the hoop for wide open shots.
Scott blocked. Horry got a piece of it. Horry. Robert Horry has tied. Check that. Brings the Rockets within 1. With just under 2 minutes to go in the third.
That's the kind of play that the Houston Rockets need. More things from other people besides Hakeem Olajuwon, who scored 12 of the 18 points in this quarter.
Chucky Brown, who just came on with that rebound. Cassell checking out the floor. Minute and a half remaining in the third. Olajuwon off the double team. Took a knee and drew the foul.
Well, the Rockets very much aware of the danger that Dennis Scott presents from beyond the 3-point line. They tried to stay close to him throughout the whole series. Horry ran at him, got the deflection, and Hakeem with the long baseball pass and the dunk by Robert Horry as he appreciated the defensive play by Robert.
But the sense of Hakeem, just always ready to get to the next move. That's the ultimate description of balance. Hakeem, the sense of how to play the game, how to control the flow of the game and finish.
Horace Grant called for the foul, non-shooting foul. The Magic with 14 fouls, Rockets with 2. Cassell for 3. Sam Cassell hitting his first from downtown. Rockets have recaptured the lead. Another drought period for the Magic. They've missed their last 7 shots. They went through this late in the second quarter. Brian Shaw lost control. Cassell on the penetration. Grant lost it and then regained. Took it back from Brown.
This is when Penny Hardaway has to take control. He hasn't touched the ball.
Brian Shaw operating at the point guard, running the team as Hardaway looks to post up. Shot clock at 5. Hardaway, yes. Well, that's taking control as he's tied the game at 75.
A good play by Brian Shaw to be a little bit more patient. He has been looking so much for his own offense and his own penetration that sometimes he's forgetting who he's on the floor with.
.15 seconds remaining in the third. Ellie Rebounded by Hardaway. Able to maintain his balance out of the pack and then throw it away.
Penny saw Jeff Turner running with him. Jeff normally doesn't finish on the break. He's always looking to spot up. And Brian Shaw seemed to slow up a little bit. Penny threw it to nobody.
Only 4 1/10 seconds remaining in the third. Game tied at 75. Cassell from downtown. So Hakeem Olajuwon with a strong third quarter. 12 of his 25 here in the third. The Rockets and the Magic are headed to the fourth, tied at 75. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
On to the fourth quarter here at the Summit. The game is tied at 75. Orlando leading by as many as 9. Rockets have led by as many as 4. Going back to the start of the telecast, Bill, you made the point that you feel although Penny Hardaway has had the stats going over the first 2 games, Penny sitting it out at the start of the fourth quarter, but you feel that he had to bring more impact to his ball play.
More impact, more direction, more leadership, particularly every time they miss a shot. They've been going through these huge scoring droughts. That's his responsibility to get that back on track.
Hardaway with 12 assists, along with 15 points. Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon have returned. Shaquille, it counts, and the foul. So he'll head to the line. Foul on Mario Ellie, who is trying to help.
I think Brian Hill realized Shaq was a little bit weary in that third quarter, got him out late. Penny Hardaway kind of picked up the slack. Now Penny gets a rest, and Shaq looks fresh right now. Very quick move to escape Olajuwon.
The key word, move. He's moving around guys as he tries to go through guys. Can't get the free throw, but Shaq only 11 shot attempts in the game. Hakeem's got 22.
And Shaquille playing 33 of the 36 minutes as this fourth quarter unfolds. Olajuwon, he has 2 fouls. O'Neal has 3. Olajuwon improvising once again.
That's a good word, Mark, because he didn't know exactly what he was going to do there by any means, but the soft touch got him through.
Anfernee, Bowie, looked like he lost sight of the offensive concept.
You would think 2 guys fly by you, and one of them is Hakeem, that somebody would be open somewhere, not just the side of the board.
Well, Brian Hill reacted to that sequence. He went wild on the sideline. You don't see Brian get that excited usually. Game tied at 77. O'Neal taking it in traffic and able to convert. The Magic 79, the Rockets 77. 21 points for Shaquille O'Neal. Cassell tried to brush by Shaw off the screen, but was fouled by Shaw.
Hakeem Olajuwon will go to the jump shot here. He's been shooting the jump hook. Oh, that was the jump hook. Got to call bank for that one to count. In transition, which has pretty much been denied by Houston. Shaquille O'Neal showing his tremendous balance as well.
Hill has hit his last 6 shots. Brown is fouled by Scott. 3 on Scott.
In this game, the Rockets have gotten their expected points from Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, who's getting a breather right now, and also Robert Horry, another good defensive performance, but they are not getting the scoring punch that they got in Game 1 from Kenny Smith when he made the 7 out of 11 from three-point land and scoring 23 points, and certainly not the big game they got from Sam Cassell in Game 2, so they're not getting the scoring from that other player that they need.
Chucky Brown only a 61% free throw shooter during the regular season. Chucky Brown, a man who has made it from the CBA, a CBA All-Star earlier this season, signed to originally to a 10-day contract when Carl Herrera was injured. This is his 6th NBA season out of North Carolina State, and he has been contributing off the bench for the Rockets. The game is now tied at 79 with 1:40 gone by in the fourth. Brown came over to help and picked up the foul. Mario Ellie, who went to the bench just a moment ago, we're told has injured his left knee. Checked over.
Ray Melchiori, he'll get him better out there.
Oh, Shaw to the left hand. Nice move by Brian Shaw, who has 14 points. Orlando by 2. Cassell and Drexler in the backcourt. Brown up front along with Horry. Olajuwon. Out of 6 on the shot clock. Horry was fouled. Foul on Dennis Scott. That's his 4th. Timeout taken. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
In recognition of this NBA Finals moment, the NBA and Red Dog will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. And there is your one-time coach, Jack Ramsey. What was the Natalie-attired Jack Ramsey discussing with you on the sideline of that shot?
Marv, he was telling me to quit shooting so much and get out there and pound the glass and block some shots. Leave the shooting to the shooters.
Robert Horry at the free throw line. He's 1 of 2 at the line. The Magic 81 and the Rockets 80 with 9:50 remaining in the fourth quarter.
This is when the little things really show up in the fourth quarter of a ball game, and obviously this is a very crucial one. You want to watch your team fouls. You want to make sure you'd like to have a couple coming down those last couple of minutes. You want to use your fouls judiciously on a guy like Shaquille O'Neal. But transition defense, pressure on the ball, and rebounding crucial at this time.
4 fouls apiece on Clyde Drexler and Dennis Scott. Game is tied at 81. O'Neal facing a double team. Shot clock running out. Scott got it off. Rebounded by Brown.
Chucky Brown has done so many of those little things that we've mentioned.
Olajuwon blocked by Grant. What a play by Horace Grant. Dennis Scott just cannot hit. He's 2 for 11.
Reset. This is where Penny Hardaway needs to take control.
Yeah, but with Brian Shaw in the ballgame, this is Penny Hardaway is playing off the ball as the big guard, letting Shaw run the show.
Grant from Hardaway, and Grant stripped. Olajuwon got the hand in to poke it away. This is the season right here for the Orlando Magic. Drexler, Scott rebounds. Trailing 2 games to nothing. In desperate need of a win right here. Tied at 81. Shaquille could not convert on the alley-oop. 8:20 remaining in the fourth quarter.
The players are waiting for the whistle to blow. No time to wait.
Horry for 3. Yes. And a timeout called by the Magic. Rockets by 3. 8:10 left in the fourth.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, fueling the Rockets and Magic to the NBA Championship. Buy Ford in your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Terrific defense all around. Horace Grant, the first trip, maybe a little bit of arm. Then Horace Grant off the penetration will get ripped down below by Hakeem Olajuwon, former Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. Shaq will come right back with a miss of his own. A little off the mark. And finally, will somebody ever make a shot in the fourth quarter here with the game on the line? Robert Horry, who's done everything without the ball all night long, drains the long three.
And Dennis Scott has just been laboring mightily from beyond the three-point line. Just 1 for 9, but that young man has a lot of confidence. He'll keep firing.
Rockets to the three-point lead. Grant, yes. Horace Grant providing an offensive lift for the Magic. He has 16 points. 1 point. Rocket lead. 7:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Pick and roll. Olajuwon able to convert. He now has 29 points.
We go along with 12 boards and 6 assists, but the suppleness of the hands for Hakeem.
O'Neal, yes, and it counts. So Shaquille to the line, hoping to tie the game.
Well, this is a pick and slip. It's kind of a fake, and Olajuwon bursting right to the basket. Horace Grant saw it coming, but just a tad too late. That enabled Olajuwon to get to the hole. Then Hakeem reaching in for a strip on Shaq, getting called for the foul.
3-point play for Shaquille O'Neal. He has 24 points, 4 of 9 from the line. The game is tied at 86. Rudy Tomjanovich staying with Sam Cassell and Clyde Drexler in the backcourt. Chucky Brown, Robert Horry, Hakeem Olajuwon on the front line. Shot clock at 3. Olajuwon with the tip.
Oh, what a terrific job by Olajuwon to elude Brian Shaw, snake into the opening, and stay with that shot.
Rockets lead by 2. O'Neal tried the give and go. Grant could not get to it. Cassell does.
Too hot to handle. Horace had a couple of those the other night. That was a rocket.
Come right back to Hakeem now.
Cassell using Olajuwon as the screen.
Brian Shaw doing a good job of shutting off the penetration of Cassell, forcing him into that tough shot.
Hardaway able to penetrate, could not hit.
Get the ball to Olajuwon.
And he is able to find ground. The basket won't count. Foul before the shot attempt.
Hakeem Olajuwon, shot clock winding down. Off the dribble drive, able to get by Shaq and get right through. He splits the double team, put that shot up. He knew he missed it, but usually the guy who knows he missed it knows where the ball's going to be. He stayed right there with the tap.
Foul on Dennis Scott is 5th. He'll sit down. Nick Anderson checks back in. The combination of Anderson and Scott have had a very long night. They've combined for only 4 of 20 from the field. Olajuwon to the deep fade and rebounded by Anderson. Rockets 88, Magic 86, just under 6 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. O'Neal again trying to get it to Grant, recovered though by Hardaway. And another deflection, so with 10 on the 24, Orlando will maintain possession.
How about Hakeem's quick hands to tap away the first pass? That is very difficult to block a pass from the center.
Well, in the first quarter, those passes were open, not being challenged. Now the Rockets very quick with their hands.
Shaw, that was a 3-point attempt. Here's Drexler on the open floor. Drexler is stopped and fouled. Foul committed by Shaw.
Terrible shot by Brian Shaw. There was 10 seconds on the shot clock on the inbounds pass. But then Drexler will get that long rebound and just go at him. His step away from the hoop draws that blocking foul.
That's why Clyde Drexler is such a good open court player. He knew he was the only Rocket out there. He was going to challenge the defender. Got the ball right in the middle of the floor. Dropped his head, decided to attack the rim. And if nothing else, draw the foul on Shaw.
Clyde at the line is 4 of 6. An 82% free throw shooter during the regular season. Chucky Brown hears it from the crowd. He sits down, replaced by Charles Jones. Back in game 2 on Friday night, Clyde Drexler poured it on in the final 5.5 minutes, scoring 10 points down the stretch. And Clyde looking to open up a 4-point Houston lead. Foul on Jones, reaching in on Grant. It's a non-shooting foul. Jones called for his 4th. Rockets with 14 fouls. Magic over the limit with 5. O'Neal played by Jones. Anderson for 3. O'Neal with the tip. Drexler on the rebound. Again on the run. Drexler all the way. Setting up Horry, and he's fouled by Grant.
What a sequence by Clyde Drexler as Shaq was really hammering the offensive glass and battling the big men. The big guard, Clyde Drexler, peeling back in there to get this tough rebound in traffic and once again put extreme pressure on the transition defense of the Orlando Magic as Horry will go to the line.
And it was Horry who again ran by the three-point shooter. And then he just kept right on going. He earns a trip to the line.
Robert Horry is 4 of 5 at the line. Rockets lead by 4.
And this is when Penny Hardaway really has to assert himself, get involved. It's much more difficult for him to do it when he is playing at the off-guard position. Brian Shaw will have the ball most of the time, but Penny has to find a way.
Houston 91, Orlando 86. They approach 5 minutes to go in the 4th. They're standing here at the summit. Hardaway, played by Drexler. Anderson. Grant keeps it alive. Hardaway lost the break.
Hakeem on defense with the tap.
Olajuwon for Jones, who will not shoot. Popped it out. Olajuwon stopped by O'Neal. Hardaway with Horry back and foul. And Horry over to help up Hardaway.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal patrolling the lane in there had Olajuwon at his mercy, falling back, a hard block in the shot, and what you might call normally a good foul by Robert Horry, but he's hitting himself in the head there, pointing to the clock, knowing, or the scoreboard, knowing that that put the Rockets over the limit and into the penalty. He realized his mistake right away.
And Hardaway is 7 of 8 at the line. The Magic, notoriously a poor free throw shooting team in the 4th quarter. That goes right throughout the regular season and through the playoffs, although in the 4th quarter thus far, they've hit their free throws here tonight. 91-88. Rockets lead by 3. 4.5 remaining in the 4th.
Such a tendency to relax offensively. Now is the time to hammer down, push yourself through the fatigue. Drexler.
Hardaway gambled. Rockets could not take advantage.
Boy, it did not seem like a good gamble as he opened up a driving lane for Drexler, but the officials now are going to rule that attempted pass out to the wind by Clyde Drexler was deflected by the Orlando Magic.
Orlando, 3 timeouts, 3 and a 20 remaining as you take another look at the deflection. And Houston with 4 and a 20.
Well, Brian Hill did not see a deflection. Clyde Drexler thought he got fouled on the play.
Hardaway with the steal.
Terrific pick, Horace Grant in the backcourt.
Magic down by 3 points. Anderson on the run. O'Neal could hold on. And again, Drexler out of the pack. Finds Ellie, and he's fouled. The foul on Anderson. The crowd looking for a flagrant foul. It's Rudy Tomjanovich brings him off the bench looking for the flagrant, but it will not be.
Well, what knocked this ball loose was Sam Cassell on a great dive to knock it free, and Drexler really pushing the ball out of the backcourt. Obviously, Mario Ellie, who bumped knees with Shaquille O'Neal earlier in this ballgame, about 5 or 6 minutes ago, is okay and back in the game. A hard foul by Nick Anderson.
This is what we saw This is what we saw in Game 6, San Antonio. Clyde Drexler, fourth quarter, just pushing that ball. Hannah talked at the start. Clyde Drexler, this is his championship.
Ellie with 14 points, and the Rockets lead by 5. The chant of defense from the crowd. And Hugh Evans with the whistle. Mario Ellie appealing the play, but it's a hand check on Ellie, and it's a two-shot foul.
Tentative whistle by Hugh Evans here on the hard drive by Penny Hardaway. I felt that Hugh Evans was going to call that foul right away. He hesitated, and then when Hardaway looked at him, he decided to blow the whistle. And an accurate call, as I should say, Mario Ellie stuck his forearm in there hard to knock Hardaway off balance.
Orlando has gone 4 minutes without a field goal.
We have a timeout.
Timeout has been taken with 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. And the Rockets up by 4.
You're watching NBC, the premier sports television network.
Welcome back to the Summit in Houston. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Bill Walton with 3:35 to go in the fourth quarter. And the Rockets leading 93-89. Dennis Scott and Nick Anderson so effective earlier in the playoffs, not able to do it in this series. Nick Anderson had the good game one, but he missed the 4 free throws in the final seconds of regulation. But tonight, Scott 2 of 11, Anderson 2 of 12, and that's been a killer for the Magic.
Part of that is the fact that they're not getting the same looks as they got against everybody else, and that's because, as we talked at the Open, and Hakeem is fighting Shaq right back, and so they're not having to collapse everybody onto Shaq.
Rockets by 3. Trying to go up 3-0 in this best of 7. But Magic in a desperation scenario looking to get back into the series. Ellie for 3. Another clutch three-pointer for Mario Ellie. The Rockets have a 6-point lead. It's their biggest lead of the night. We are down to 3 minutes remaining. O'Neal, Shaquille right back. He has 26. Shaquille O'Neal with 3 fouls. Hakeem Olajuwon with 3. Hannah Storm reporting a moment ago from the Houston bench that Rudy Tomjanovich told Hakeem if he gets into trouble, foul Shaquille, we want to put him on the line.
This is the way the Rockets finish up, but they were nursing a lead in game 2. Now, again, this is probably better suited for this style of game with Drexler, but a terrific block by Shaquille O'Neal.
2.5 to go in the fourth. Rockets by 4. O'Neal banging with Olajuwon and a foul on Hakeem. And that's 4 on Olajuwon.
Shaquille O'Neal trying to bring his team back, goes quickly to the offense. The hitch one way, like Olajuwon, coming back with the jump hook, and then he can get it done on the defensive end as well. Beautifully tapped, kept in play. His teammates able to garner it in.
O'Neal is 4 of 9 at the line.
Well, this is when your stars have to make their impact. Penny Hardaway, we see him looking to drive the ball to the basket, but Shaquille O'Neal knows that if the Magic are going to get themselves out of this predicament, down 0-2, he is going to have to make huge plays at both ends of the floor at crunch time.
And Shaquille hits 2 crucial free throws. Rockets 96, the Magic 94. 2:20 remaining in the fourth. Olajuwon. Hardaway over to help. Trying to poke the ball away. Back to Olajuwon on the spin for the jump hook. And the rebound through the hands of Anderson, but handled by Scott.
Rockets too tentative. There's an eternity of time left.
O'Neal.
No double team.
To the jump hook. And taken by Drexler. Again on the open floor. Going at Scott.
Oh, Clyde Drexler at both ends of the floor, getting the loose balls, getting the backcourt and finishing with fury.
There's been a delay of game called, which will result in a technical foul because they had one earlier.
You mentioned that could hurt because obviously you like to hold the delay of games for late in games to get a look at the offensive alignment. Here's a look at it after Drexler was able to put it down. The ball batted away, so that is the second and a technical foul.
He was just keeping the ball from hitting him in the face. That's a tough call.
Dennis Scott converting on the tee. Rockets by 3 with a minute and 46 left in the fourth quarter.
Clyde Drexler trying to explain to the officials that he did not mean to slap the ball away. As Bill pointed out, that thing was just coming through the net, about to hit him in the face, and he just inadvertently brushed it away.
Anderson for O'Neal. Off the fake. Rebounded by Horry. Again, Shaquille could not hit.
Those last two jump hooks a little bit too far out. Shaq has to be more aggressive. He has to look for the three-point play, taking the ball to the rim and look for contact.
Well, what Houston is doing, as they call a timeout, they're not double teaming. They don't want to get beat by the three-point shot.
A minute 20 to go in the fourth. Rockets with the ball and a 3-point lead.
Time and time again in games 2 and 3, Sam Cassell in the middle of things, knocking that ball loose for Clyde's 13th rebound of this ball game, and he has been doing this in the second half regularly, breaking out of the backcourt and attacking the rim.
Clyde Drexler leading the parade in terms of most postseason points without a championship. And he's added to his totals tonight. 22 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. Drexler on the spin. Going right at Anderson. Extending to a 5-point Rocket lead. We come up on 1 minute remaining in this fourth quarter. The Rockets lead by 5. Anderson for 3. Orlando had missed its last 10 from downtown. It's down to a 2-point Rocket lead. And a timeout taken by Ellie. The Rockets in danger of a 10-second violation. They took 7 seconds in the backcourt.
Drexler in the low post, it's been his game, along with Hakeem as usual, just spinning by. He's beaten Nick Anderson on the baseline all series long. Rudy ecstatic, but then to give up the 3.
Well, they've been careful not to double team Shaq. Drexler actually going for the steal here, and the deflection as he feels he can do no wrong at either end of the floor, but that's what opened the gates up for Nick Anderson behind the line. I think the Magic were surprised at the post-up for Drexler, and they really shouldn't be. He is obviously the other go-to guy, because normally when he gets the ball that tight to the lane, a double team would be coming.
Well, the Rockets must advance from the backcourt within 3 seconds.
Hakeem is too far up the court. He's got to come back and be the man.
This could be a 10-second violation. Cassell, does he get it across? Well, apparently he did. Horry, and a foul is called. That was close to a backcourt violation.
Very creative play by Sam Cassell. The shot clock, if it hits 14, it's a violation. In the air, the pass delivered. Very close, but then this nice dish off. Rockets running away from the ball, really.
Anderson on the foul. Horry 5 of 6 at the line. We're down to 47 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Robert Horry, a 76% free throw shooter during the regular season, 77 for the playoffs. Hits 1 of 2. Rockets lead 101, 98 out of 45 seconds. Hardaway, played by Ellie. Again to O'Neal, off the spin. Grant with the open shot. 1 point Houston lead with 35 seconds to go. Houston has 2 timeouts left. Orlando with 3 and a 20.
I'd come to Drexler again, but it looks like Hakeem in the post. Who better? Got to get it to him early enough, though.
Rockets using the clock. Shot clock at 6. Horry for 3. Robert Horry, with the shot clock running down, drills the three-pointer.
Well, tremendous play with the shot clock winding down. Robert Horry, a difficult one, but he nailed it. Sam Cassell gave the ball to Olajuwon very late in the shot clock, but Robert Horry, the man up in the slot there, loads one up for his second 3 in this fourth quarter, and this Rocket team has been saying for the last 5 or 6 days, and maybe longer, they are a team of destiny, and that was a difficult shot, and when they're falling for you, you are in great shape.
Robert Horry with 11 of his 20 points here in the fourth quarter. 14 and 1/10 seconds remaining. Rockets with a 4-point lead.
Houston Rockets should just foul and make this a foul shooting contest. You don't want to get beat or caught by a 3 here.
Both teams are over the limit. So you give up the 2 points.
I'd give up the 2 and get it right back on the offensive end as opposed to the 3.
There's the 3-point attempt coming up short with Hardaway. And last touch by Scott. 6 and 8/10 seconds to go. And the foul is given. So the Rockets to the line with both teams over the limit, and they are celebrating here at the Summit. The Rockets seeking to go up 3-0. No team in NBA history has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a playoff series. In fact, only 4 teams have been able to wipe out 3-1 deficits. Clyde Drexler is now 5 of 9 at the line. Orlando with 2 and a 20 and the timeout rundown. Rockets by 5. The Magic calling for time. We'll be back after a word from your local station. A timeout rundown. Both clubs over the foul limit. 5 and 9/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Rockets lead by 5.
Well, the Magic down 2 possessions, a 3 or a 2 doesn't really matter here. You'd prefer to have the 3. I would think that Rudy Tomjanovich is telling his team, however, if it's a quick score in 1 or 2 seconds, take the timeout. Let's not take any chances with the inbounds pass, as New York got in trouble in that Indiana game in Game 1, where they made a bad decision on an inbounds pass. Of course, they didn't have any timeouts to use there, but you want to make sure that you don't turn the ball over after a score.
Critical to run the baseline here on a made score, but don't play soft defense. Play aggressively here, force them to take a lot of time and tough shots.
Well, Cassell, aggressive, defending the inbounds. They do not have a delay of game remaining. And now Cassell drops back. Shaw can't find anyone. Anderson turning and fires for 3 and hits. Nick Anderson from downtown brings it within 2. What a shot by Nick Anderson. And an immediate foul given by Hardaway with 2 and 7/10 seconds remaining.
Well, Nick Anderson did a very good job of helping the passer by coming to meet the ball, but an extremely difficult shot under pressure by Clyde Drexler, all over him, challenging that shot. And then I thought that Rudy would have his team take the timeout. This is a dangerous inbounds pass, although you're always happy when you get it in. And if you're the Houston Rockets, you're always hoping that you have a good free throw shooter at the line.
And it is Sam Cassell at the line, an 84% free throw shooter, and 1 of 1 here tonight. The Rockets have hit 11 of 14 at the line in this fourth quarter. So Nick Anderson, who has been struggling the last 2 games, not able to hit with open looks, hits an impossible shot.
And the fact that Brian Shaw, the inbound passer, had already looked Nick off. Nick was the first option coming along the baseline. Brian Shaw couldn't get him the ball initially and then finally came back to him.
Timeout has been called by the Magic. So Orlando has 1 timeout left. And Houston with 2 remaining and 2 2/10 seconds to go.
Well, I think the reason for the 22nd timeout was to try and ice Sam Cassell here, make him think about it a little bit. Obviously, the Magic, after a make or miss, have to use their last timeout.
2 2/10 seconds remaining. And Sam Cassell will head to the line. Looked like a couple of the Magic players were trying to get into the head of Sam, was just laughing it off. There's Brian Shaw over for a last gasp try at psyching him out. Well, one more shot. Orlando does have a timeout remaining.
The way the bench of Orlando is indicating that they don't think they have a timeout. They're kind of waving off. Oh, they got it. I just saw Dennis Scott over there giving a wave-off sign, but as looking at Horace Grant, but they had to know they had this last timeout.
So it comes down to the Magic setting up for a 3 to tie the game. 2 2/10 seconds left. The Rockets 106. The Magic 103. The Orlando Magic in need of a 3-point shot to tie the game with 2 2/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Look at the Magic 3-point shooting this evening.
I think the Houston Rockets have to foul immediately, but be careful not to foul somebody who's shooting a 3-point shot, which would then give them 3 free throws. The end of regulation in game 1, the Rockets totally broke down. Dennis Scott makes the 3, overtime.
Well, there's absolutely no reason to guard anybody inside the 3-point line. I don't care who's standing in there. Everybody just get out. If you're the Houston Rockets, try to get out around the perimeter, which is going to make it very difficult for the Magic to get the ball in anywhere close in that 23 to 25-foot area. So we'll see how Shaquille O'Neal is in the game, and I'm a little surprised at that because he's obviously not a 3-point threat, and an offensive rebound doesn't do them any good.
Anderson has hit all 4 of his 3-pointers in the second half. Brian Shaw will inbounds. Mathis making certain Sam Cassell gives the proper room. Here's Hardaway, pumps it up, and back will do it. Sam Cassell lands on top of Penny Hardaway. The Houston Rockets have defeated the Orlando Magic 106 to 103, and they now lead this best of 7, 3 games to nothing. The Rockets led once again by the combination of Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler.
Well, Penny Hardaway did a good job of coming to meet that ball, and on the release, no contact there, and he fell down and actually undercut Sam Cassell, who fell on top of him well after the play.
Let's go over to Hannah Storm, who has Hakeem and Clyde.
Yes, quite the fight slam and jam combination here, Marv. Clyde, the team seemed to come out tentative, but your hunger and intensity just willed them to victory.
I just thought both teams were playing extremely hard. This was a hard-fought contest. Neither team wanted to lose, and I thought we were fortunate to win it.
Hakeem, along with yourself, he could be co-MVP of this final so far. What has Clyde's performance meant to this team?
Well, you can see how much he does on the fast break. One-man fast break, he creates so much problem for the opponents.
Did you ever imagine that you would be up 3-0 against the Orlando Magic?
Well, this is incredible. Thank God.
Can you close it out on Wednesday night, Hakeem?
Well, that's our game plan. I hope so.
All right, we'll see you then. Marv?
Thank you, Hannah. Hakeem, 31 points, 14 rebounds. Clyde with 25 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. Another big game for Robert Horry with 20 points, 11 of his 20 in the fourth quarter, including a huge three-point shot, and Robert Horry is with Hannah.
Robert, you hit two huge three-pointers, the one with 8 minutes to go, really keying this team up emotionally, and then the big one at the end of the game. How key was it you guys finally started taking those open shots?
I was very fortunate to make that last one. I just wanted to try to get it up quick because I felt like after I made that first one, my rotation was down, I was ready to get him up. And Dream kicked it out to me. I should have kicked it back to him, but I said, I'm going to take this three to try to put us up.
How tough is it going to be for you guys the next few days? You got 3 days to wait to try to wrap this thing up.
I think it's good. I think we done came out so emotional ready these last 3 games that we need a little rest so we can get really prepared for their offense, because we kind of struggled with it the first half because we didn't have our traps down. So I think these 3 days off will help us out a lot.
Okay, thanks, Robert. Great game. A coming out party for you in this series. Marv?
Yes, another outstanding all-around game for Robert Horry. As you saw that impressive stat line, it's 3-0 the Rockets over the Magic. Coming up next, Robert Conrad, starring in NBC's newest action-adventure series, Search and Rescue, based on incredible real-life rescues by Rangers. Again, the final score, the Rockets 106 and the Magic 103. And the Rockets, going for their second consecutive NBA title, lead the best of 7, 3-0. For Matt Kukas, Bill Walton, Ahmad Rashad, Hannah Storm, and Bob Costas, I'm Marv Albert saying so long from the summit in Houston.